Today, we're diving into a comprehensive comparison of the brand new iPhone 16e and the iPhone 16. The iPhone 16e is Apple's fresh take on an economical iPhone, packing a mix of old and new features, while the iPhone 16 represents the latest core model in Apple's lineup. The 16th borrows from the iPhone 14th in design, but loses some premium features, whereas the iPhone 16th introduces dynamic island and a dual camera setup. But the big question is, which one is best for your needs and style? Well, let's dive into a detailed comparison of these two iPhones and see which one is the right choice for you. And if you find this video helpful, please help out the channel by giving it a like and subscribing. Let's start off with the design and build. Apple has ditched the SE branding and given the 16e a more modern look. It takes heavy inspiration from the iPhone 14, meaning you get a familiar flat-edge design, glass front and back, and aluminum frame. On the back, there's a noticeable difference. The 16e has a single camera instead of the dual camera layout found on the iPhone 16. Another key difference is the notch on the 16e compared to the dynamic island on the iPhone 16, which offers a more modern, interactive display. In terms of buttons, both devices feature the Action button, but the 16e lacks the camera control button found on the iPhone 16. Both models also switch to USB-C, keeping up with Apple's latest changes. When it comes to the sizes, the differences are minimal. The iPhone 16 is slightly wider and heavier, but you won't really notice it in daily use. If you want a sleek design with a premium feel, both phones deliver, but the iPhone 16 pulls ahead with its more modern dynamic island and dual camera setup. Moving on to the display, both the iPhone 16 and 16e come with a 6.1-inch OLED panel with a resolution of 1179 by 2556 pixels and around 460 ppi. However, brightness is where the difference lies. The iPhone 16 reaches 1000 nits in high brightness mode and peaks at 2000 nits, while the 16e is slightly dimmer with 800 nits in high brightness mode and a peak of 1200 nits. This means that in bright outdoor conditions, the iPhone 16 will have a clearer, more visible screen. Another key difference is the cutout for the front camera. The iPhone 16 uses Dynamic Island, which makes notifications and interactions smoother, whereas the 16e sticks with the traditional notch. Both displays are locked at 60 Hz, meaning no ProMotion here, but they still provide a solid experience for everyday use. If you prioritize brightness and a more interactive screen experience, the iPhone 16 has the edge, but the 16e still holds up well for general use. In terms of performance and software, Apple has equipped both the iPhone 16 and 16e with the A18 chipset. But there's a small but notable difference. The 16e has a slightly weaker GPU with one less core compared to the iPhone 16. This might result in slightly lower graphics performance in demanding 3D games and high-end tasks. But for everyday usage, the difference will be negligible. Both phones also come with 8 GB of RAM, ensuring smooth multitasking, and are fully optimized for Apple Intelligence, which is rolling out gradually with iOS 18.1 and beyond. Expect future AI-driven Siri updates and system-wide improvements on both models. In terms of software, you're getting the same experience, and both will receive updates for years to come. If you're a casual user or someone who mostly browses, texts, and streams, the 16th will feel just as fast. But if you do a lot of gaming or video editing, the extra GPU power in the iPhone 16 might be worth considering. When it comes to cameras, this is where we see one of the biggest differences. The iPhone 16e takes us back in time with a single 48 megapixels wide-angle camera, whereas the iPhone 16 features a dual camera setup, including a 12 megapixels ultra-wide lens. Both phones share the same main camera sensor, meaning regular photos will look nearly identical. But the lack of an ultra-wide lens on the 16th means you'll miss out on those expansive landscape shots and creative angles. The 16e does support Apple's visual intelligence for enhanced image processing, so it still delivers great photos. But if versatility is important to you, the iPhone 16 is the better pick. The camera control button, exclusive to the iPhone 16, also allows for more advanced photo adjustments. So if you love photography and want more flexibility, the iPhone 16 is the winner here. But if you just need a solid camera for everyday shots, the 16e won't disappoint. Battery life and charging are another area where we see small but noticeable differences. While Apple hasn't officially listed the battery capacity of the iPhone 16e, it's likely to be similar to the iPhone 14's 3,279 mAh battery, whereas the iPhone 16 has a slightly larger 3,581 mAh cell. This 300 mAh difference could mean a bit more screen-on time for the iPhone 16, but real-world performance remains to be tested. Charging speeds remain unchanged at 25 watts wired charging for both models, which isn't exactly fast by today's standards. But one major omission on the 16th is MagSafe. If you rely on MagSafe accessories like wireless chargers and wallets, the 16e might be a deal-breaker. As for my final verdict, the iPhone 16e is a top-tier budget iPhone that checks a lot of boxes. It brings a modern design, solid performance, and nearly the same software experience as the iPhone 16 for a lower price. But Apple had to make some cuts to keep costs down, mainly in the camera department, display brightness, and MagSafe functionality. On the other hand, the iPhone 16 justifies its higher price with a dual camera system, dynamic island, brighter display, and a slight performance boost. If you're looking for the best value and don't mind losing an ultra-wide camera or MagSafe, the iPhone 16e is an excellent choice. But if you want the full modern iPhone experience with all the bells and whistles, the iPhone 16 is worth the extra cash.